guys, and welcome back to Reading Club. So today I'm going to read you Daisy and the Trouble with Piggy Banks, Chapter 15 to Chapter 20. Chapter 15. When I arrived at Gabby's house on Saturday, I had absolutely everything I needed. I had my box of things to sell. At the boot sale, I had my sleeping bag, my pajamas, my toothbrush, my favorite teddy, plus all the things we needed for a midnight feast. Well, some of the things. I only managed to get chocolate raisins, I said, as we went upstairs to Gabby's bedroom, and 2 strawberry dib-dabs. No problem, said Gabby. My mom and dad have bought us stacks of sweet tea. Where shall I put them? I asked. Hide them under our pillows, said Gabby, and then we'll go back downstairs and get some more sweets for our secret stash. By the time we added a king-size bottle of lemonade, a big bag of marshmallows, a box of Maltesers, some cheese strings, a bunch of bananas, 2 sausage rolls, a family packet of cheesy wassets, a packet of Love Hearts, some candy sticks, and a box of jam tarts to our secret stash, it didn't look that secret at all because the pillows were so high. So we put the bananas back. Gabby said that the more midnight feast we ate, the more our pillows would go down. Trouble is, it wasn't midnight. It was time for proper dinner. The trouble with having a proper dinner with Gabby and her mom and dad is they all like peas, and I don't. Which was a bit of a problem, really, because when I sat down at the table, Gabby's mom gave me a plate with peas all over it. The trouble with having a plate with peas all over it is I really don't like peas. Especially baby peas, because you get more of them. The trouble with saying I don't like peas is it's a bit embarrassing if you're saying it to someone else's mom, especially if they are letting you do a sleepover in their house and taking you to a boot sale the next day. So I tried to pretend that I did. The trouble with pretending to like peas is you have to put a pea in your mouth. The trouble with putting a pea in your mouth is it makes your tongue shrink and your teeth faint and your mouth dry up, which is why I had to spit it out. I don't think Gabby's mom and dad were very pleased when I did my spit. Is something wrong, Daisy? Asked Gabby's mom. You haven't found a hair in your dinner, have you? She doesn't like peas, said Gabby. Luckily, as soon as Gabby's mom found out I didn't like peas, she scraped all my peas onto Gabby's dad's plate instead, including the one I spat out. Sorry, I whispered to Gabby. It's okay, she whispered back. I don't like It's okay, she whispered back. I don't like courgettes. Whatever they are. As soon as we had finished our shepherd's pie, Gabby asked if we could leave the table. Gabby's dad said that they were dessert if we wanted it, but we were both really keen to go back to Gabby's room. We're going to put our pajamas on, said Gabby. In fact, we're going to go to bed right now. Is it all right if Daisy sleeps in my bed with me? Can she? It was only 6:30, but we'd never been so keen to go to bed in our whole lives. Of course she can, says Gabby's mom. But remember, we were getting up at 5 o'clock. Chapter 16. As soon as we got back to Gabby's bedroom, I dived straight into my bag for my pajamas. Leave your sleeping bag on the floor, said Gabby. There's plenty of room in my bed for both of us. Gabby was right. Her bed was a double bed, which made it twice as wide as mine. Same length, though. Twice as long would have been even better. Ta-da! Said Gabby, jumping into bed first and then lifting both pillows to reveal our midnight feast. The trouble with midnight feasts is they are really meant to start at midnight. So once we both got under the covers, we decided we would have a 6:45 feast instead. Trouble is, it was only 20 to 7, so we changed it into a 20 to 7 feast instead because we hadn't had any dessert. The trouble with dessert is If you're sitting at a dinner table, you only get one choice of things to eat. But if you're sitting in bed with Gabby having an early midnight feast, there are absolutely loads of things you can have. Gabby fancied cheesy wassets, love hearts, and lemonade for her dessert. I fancied chocolate raisins, a dip dab, some Maltesers, and a gem tart. Then Gabby changed her mind. So I changed my mind too. In the end, we decided to open everything and just eat whatever we fancied when we fancied it. It was brilliant fun being in the same bed as Gabby. I'd never been under the covers with anyone before, apart from my mom, and Gabby was loads more fun. Let's pretend we are moles, she said, crawling under the covers towards the other end of the bed. Let's pretend we're in a tunnel looking for worms to eat, but the only things we can find are cheesy wassets. So we did. Let's pretend we're trapped in a cave, said Gabby, lying on her back and holding the duvets off with her feet. Let's pretend we were digging for diamonds, but the roof has collapsed, and now we have to dig our way out of all the boulders. So we did. Once we cleared all the boulders, I began to have sleepover ideas of my own. Let's pretend we're robbing a bank, I said, lying flat on my tummy and wriggling like a snake. Let's pretend we are digging a tunnel under a bank, and our tunnel leads straight to a safe that is full of 97.23 pounds. How are we going to get the safe open? Asked Gabby, wiggling along next to me. We can pick the lock with a cheese string, I said. Having a sleepover with Gabby was immense. The more under-the-covers adventures we had, the sillier they became. The sillier they became, the louder we began to giggle. Let's pretend we're the insides of a tortoise and the duvet is our shell. I giggled. That's weird, giggled Gabby. No, this is weird, I laughed, stuffing my cheeks with marshmallows and poking 4 candy sticks of my nose. Honestly, I never knew there were so many things you could do under the covers with a midnight feast. By the time we decided to come out to get some air, it was as dark outside the covers as it was under them. What time is it? Asked Gabby when her mom poked her head round the door. Time you two stopped giggling and went to sleep, she said. But it's a sleepover, laughed Gabby. I know, said her mom. Time to concentrate on the sleep bit. Comprende? Comprende, sighed Gabby. So no more giggling? Asked Gabby's mom. No more giggling, nodded Gabby. Promise, said Gabby's mom. We promise. We read Chapter 17. The trouble with promising not to giggle is it makes you giggle. As soon as Gabby's mom closed the door, our giggles started again straight away, so we had to go back under the duvet again to make them sound quieter. I didn't know you could speak Spanish, I whispered. I can't, giggled Gabby. Comprende is the only Spanish word I know. The trouble with making up other words in Spanish is it makes us giggle more, especially sleepover. So we changed countries. The trouble with making up words in Eskimo is it makes us giggle just as much, especially pigloo. Gabby said a pigloo was a house where Eskimo pigs live, but I said it was the place where little Eskimo pigs went for a wee all the way home, which made us giggle so much we both had to go for a wee of our own. When we tiptoed across the landing to the bathroom, we saw that all the lights had been turned off downstairs, which meant Gabby's mom and dad had actually gone to bed too, which meant it was even later than we thought. But we still couldn't stop giggling when we got back into bed. The trouble with thinking of names to call Zach Beach Whistle is it makes us giggle. The trouble with thinking of things to put in Mrs. Peters' desk is it made us giggle. The trouble with tickling each other with sweet wrappers is it made us giggle. We just couldn't stop ourselves until Gabby did a fart in the bed. The trouble with Gabby doing a fart in the bed is it makes me desperate to get out from under the covers as fast as I can. The trouble with getting out from under the covers as fast as I could is it made me fall out of bed and onto the floor, which made us both giggle till we burst. Which is why Gabby's bedroom door opened again. Only this time, it wasn't Gabby's mom, it was her dad, which meant it was serious. Girls, will you please quiet down, he said. We all have to get up really early tomorrow morning, and if we don't get any sleep, we'll be fit for nothing. We promise this time. The trouble with proper promising not to giggle is it makes her sleepover go really quiet. And the room seemed even darker when the door closes. I'm just going to get my teddy out of my bag, I whispered, in case he's afraid of going to sleep in a strange bedroom. I guess this might be the last time you ever sleep with your favorite teddy again, said Gabby with a huge yawn. I hope not, I whispered, climbing back into bed. I really, really hope not. As soon as I got back under the covers, I made Teddy comfortable on the pillow next to my cheek. Or do you think we should clean our teeth? I whispered, but there was no answer. There wasn't even a giggle or even a fart. Can you believe it? Gabby had only gone and fallen asleep. Chapter 18. When Gabby and I were woken up on Sunday morning, my eyelids felt like they were glued together. It's 5 o'clock, said Gabby's mom, knocking and then poking her head round Gabby's door. It's too early, groaned Gabby, hiding her head under her pillow. To start with, I thought it was too early, too. But after I'd done a few blinks and rubbed my eyes, I got my eyelids working again. Gabby, we need to get up, I said, pulling the pillow off her face. It's time to go to the boot sale. Come on, get up. It's going to be immense. After about 20 more blinks and 6 or 7 more groans, Gabby rolled out of bed. By about 20 past 5, we were both dressed and ready to go. Trouble is, we had to have breakfast. The trouble with having to have breakfast is egg and bacon can be really hard to eat if you're still full up with midnight feast, especially when there's baked beans and toast on your plate too. Luckily, Gabby's dad was really hungry, so we only had to have a piece of toast. Because Gabby's dad had loaded up the car with all the boot sale things the night before, all we had to do was wash our faces, clean our teeth, go to the loo, get my teddy, get in, and put our seatbelts on. By about 10 to 6, we were on the road. I'd never sat in the smell of a brand new car before. It smelled all lovely and new car-y. Where's all the traffic? I asked as we drove away from Gabby's house into a really empty road. Still asleep in their garages, yawned Gabby. Anyone you see on the road at this time, Daisy, will probably be going to the boot sale, said Gabby's dad. Really? I said, deciding that from then on I was going to count cars. By the time we arrived at the boot sale entrance, I had worked out there would be at least 37 cars going to the boot sale. When we actually drove in through the entrance, I couldn't believe my eyes. There were hundreds of cars already lined up in the field and loads more queuing to get in. Once Gabby's dad had paid some money, he drove us to our boot sale spot and parked the car. Okay, everyone, said Gabby's mom, undoing her seatbelt and looking around at us with a smile. Let's get set up. The trouble with setting up is as soon as you open the back of your car, strangers start crowding around and peering in to see what you've got inside, which makes it really difficult to get things out. Gabby's mom and dad have brought a cloth rail and 2 wallpaper pasting tables to put their things on. Trouble is, they couldn't get to them. I'm not selling anything to anyone until I've had a chance to set up our stall, said Gabby's dad, getting a bit cross with a very nosy man. If you don't leave us alone for 10 minutes, I will turn the car around and go home. Which was a lie, but it worked. At least it worked when he closed the boot of the car again and folded his arms. Okay, let's do this, said Gabby's dad, opening the car again as the nosy people began walking away. Once we got the table set up, all we had to do was put the things we were selling on top. Gabby's mom and dad had given Gabby and me our own tables to share. The things we were selling looked absolutely brilliant by the time we had finished setting them out. Don't forget to hide your favorite teddy, said Gabby. Don't worry, I said. I've left him at the bottom of my boot sale box. Good luck, she said, crossing her fingers, and remember to only sell him if you get desperate. I will, I said, crossing my fingers too, or rather, I won't. Chapter 19. When the boot sale opened at 7 o'clock, people started walking past our table from all directions. But that was the problem. Everyone kept walking past and not stopping. Why aren't they stopping? I whispered to Gabby. I don't think we've got anything they want to buy, she whispered back. They're buying things from your mom and dad, I said. Mom and dad are mostly selling clothes, said Gabby. Grown-ups like buying clothes at boot sales. They still aren't shopping, I said after about 5 minutes. Some of them aren't even looking. The trouble with people not even looking is it made me get cross, which is why I started giving people my special stares. Be patient, said Gabby, moving her French dictionary to the front of the table and then putting her snow shaker in front of her second best frisbee. Someone will come along soon. The trouble with being patient is it makes me really impatient. Especially when people who are meant to come along soon don't come along soon enough. What's the matter with everyone? I said to Gabby as about 6 more grown-ups walked straight past us. Is everyone blind? I said in a probably a bit too loud voice, still at least, and make them look. Here come some children, I said Gabby, tugging me by the arm and then telling me to act casual. Gabby was right. An actual boy and an actual girl was coming straight towards us with their parents. How much is this? Said the boy, stopping beside their table and picking up my big marble. £55, I said, getting ready to put it into a bag. Oh, he said, putting it back on the table and walking away. How much is this seashell? Asked the girl, picking up my favorite seashell. Are you Spanish or English? I asked. I'm English, she said. Then it's £45, I said. It would be £60 if you were Spanish, because the C sounds work much better in Spanish. Oh, said the girl, putting away the seashell back down and walking away. Can you believe it? They both walked away. I think you're asking for too much money, whispered Gabby, dropping something into a bag and giving it to a boy that I hadn't even seen approaching. What have you sold? I asked. My Ken. Gabby said. How much for? I asked. 20p, she told me. When Gabby told me that she'd sold an actual Ken with all his actual Ken clothes on for only 20p, I nearly fainted. 20p, I said. And an actual Ken is worth more than 20p. His trousers must be worth more than 20p. How can you sell anything for 20p? Pretty easily, said Gabby, moving her snow shaker near the swimming goggles, because 20p is about what people at boot sales want to pay. When Gabby told me how mean people were at boot sales, I nearly wanted to put everything back in my box. How much do you think I should have asked for my big marble? I asked. About 10p, she said. But it's massive, I said. I know, she said, but it's a boot sale. How much do you think I should have asked for my seashell? I asked. About 50p, she said. And what if the person buying it was Spanish? I asked. About 50p, she said. For about the next 3 minutes, I couldn't even give people my special stare. I was so cross. I think we need to have a little talk, said Gabby. What about? I asked. Haggling, said Gabby. Chapter 20. The trouble with haggling is, instead of people trying to haggle the price up, they try and haggle the price down. Everyone haggles at a boot sale, said Gabby. Basically, the way haggling works is you decide what price you want to sell something for, then you add 50p, so that when someone asks you the price of the things you're selling, you tell them it's 50p more than you want, so that they can haggle you down by offering you, say, £1 less. But because you already added 50p more than you really wanted, you can haggle them back up by saying you want 50p more than the £1 less they were trying to haggle you down to. So in the end, the price you haggle them back up to might be 50p less than you said, but it's still 50p more than they said, which is perfect because 50p more than they said is exactly the price you wanted all along. Simple. Well, it was simple to Gabby. So, how much did you say you wanted for Ken? I asked. £1, said Gabby. But how much did you really want for him? 50p, said Gabby. Then how come you only got 20p for him? I said. Because that boy was a really good haggler, said Gabby. If people are really good hagglers, then you'll never get the price you want, unless you're a really good haggler, too. I didn't know if I was going to be a really good haggler at all. All I knew was there was absolutely no way I was going to be selling any of my things for 20 pence. As the sun got hotter and the boot sale got busier, more and more children started to walk towards our table. Even better, most of them stopped to see what Gabby and I had for sale. So basically, I think of a price and add 50 pence. I whispered to Gabby, basically, yes, said Gabby. So I did. How much are your rollerblades? Asked the girl with the wonky fringe. 84.50 pounds, I said. That's too much, whispered Gabby. I'm so sorry. 49.50 pounds, I said. That's still too much, whispered Gabby. 20.50 pounds, I said. Still too much, asked Gabby, said Gabby. Ask Gabby, I said. The trouble with asking Gabby is Gabby has absolutely no idea how good my rollerblades are because she never even tried them on. 2.50 pounds, said Gabby, picking up an empty carrier bag and giving me a secret wink. Can I have them for 20 pence? Asked the girl. No, you can't, I said. Oh, said the girl, walking away. Honestly, what is wrong with bootsy people? A boy with crumbs around his mouth wanted to buy my bendy ruler for 5 pence. A girl chewing bubble gum wanted to buy my 3-colored torch for 10 pence. A boy in a too big t-shirt wanted all my Beyblades for 3 pence because that's all he had left. And 3 different girls wanted to buy my second favorite teddy for under 60 pounds. I had never met so many mean people in my entire life. Gabby didn't seem to mind people being mean at all. She sold her PlayStation games for 50 pence each, her 3 Justin Bieber things for 1 pound, her swimming goggles for 20 pence, her French dictionary for 15 pence, and her skipping rope for I don't know what because I was haggling, her snow shaker for I don't know how much because I was haggling, and her second best frisbee for I have no idea what it over because guess what? I was haggling again. When Gabby's mom came over to see how we were doing, I didn't know what to say. How much have you made? She asked. I haven't counted yet, said Gabby. Nothing, I mumbled. The trouble with nothing is when you take it away from 97.23 pounds, you are still left with 97.23 pounds, which meant I was no closer to being able to afford a squirting scooter than I was the day before. You shouldn't keep asking so much money for things, said Gabby, and you shouldn't keep selling your things for so little when I'm trying to sell my things for what they're worth, I said, because if people hear how cheap your things are, they are never going to buy my things. If Gabby hadn't been my best friend, I would probably have given her my own stares, but I didn't. Try doing what I do, said Gabby. Keep rearranging your toys so they don't always look the same. So I did. I put my High School Musical jigsaw in front of my seashells. I stood my 3-colored torch on its end. I put my coloring set next to my second favorite teddy, and I put my piggy bank right in the middle. But people still didn't want to pay more than 20 pence. Why not just sell one thing for 20 pence to see how it feels, said Gabby. I know 20 pence doesn't sound like very much, but if you get lots of them, they can soon add up. So I did. I didn't want to, but I did. I sold my piggy bank for 20 pence to a lady who collects pigs. The trouble with selling my piggy bank for 20 pence is that now I had 20 pence. I have anything to put it in. I wanted to kick the table over after that. 20 pence, I hummed. My whole piggy bank for 20 pence. It must be worth loads more than that. I know, but it's a boot sale, said Gabby, putting 2 Barbies into a bag and giving them to a girl for 10 pence each. Don't worry, there's still plenty of time. But there wasn't still plenty of time at all. It was already 9:30, and by nearly 11:30, my piggy bank was still the only thing I had sold. By 11:45, some people had even started packing their stalls away. There was only one thing I could do. It was time to get desperate. Well, that's the end of this channel. If you liked it, please click many likes and subscribe Reading Club. I'll come back tomorrow with a new and improved channel. Bye, everybody!